All right, peace and blessings, YouTube. This is the 86 Herd Podcast, and our podcast is about the industry of serving, hospitality, and restaurants. In this podcast, we will go in depth on individuals that help serve you guys when you go to restaurants, hotels, anything in the hospitality field. We're going to bring in individuals, we're going to chop it up, we're going to have fun, we're going to ask them some questions. We're going to interview them, normal, everyday folks. We're going to see what their life is like, how they got into the industry, and how they just go through a routine of every day, their struggles, their thing within the industry, and we'll just explore it as a whole. You know, we're trying to go everywhere from when you first walk into the door to when you leave, the processes, the people, the way your food gets there, why it's cooked the way it is, the whole everything from safety of food to allergies. We're gonna meet these people. We're gonna meet the people that greet you at the table, the people that clean your dishes, the people that take your dishes off the table, all in that order. Now, specifically, we're gonna go with people from the trade. We may not go exactly in that order in every episode, but these people are hardworking. They have lives of their own. Some of these people are holding out one or two, jobs at a time. Where it's a hard industry. You do it because you love it, not because it's what everybody else wants to do. You know. And with that being said, this is 86 Herd. I'm your main voice, Ryan Bannis, and this is 111 Studios. We're located right now in Broward County. Hopefully, we get that growth, we get the expedition grow, and then we keep on growing until a national thing. But for right now, this is our first episode, and for our first episode, we are going to highlight women because this is Women International Month. So we're going to highlight women, and our first episode will be about a server that's a woman, that's a very dedicated, educated individual. And then we'll cut to her in a minute. Just let me reintroduce myself. My name is Ryan. I'm a chef at a restaurant. I've been a chef for about 10 years now. I've been cooking in the industry about maybe 18 years. I started off in Marine Corps, did some odd job, did some odd work, but I really love cooking. So in about 18 years ago, 19 years ago, I went to technical school, got my technical certification, and well, I've been cooking ever since. So here we are. Now it's 2026, and I don't know. I always wanted to do a podcast, so here we are. I just didn't find my group that I wanted to do it in, and one day, 2 weeks ago, I just was like, "Hey, man, I'm sitting right in my podcast. You know what I'm saying? Niche. These people I know the ins and outs, and so I just decided that this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring you the people." All right. That being said, I want to introduce you guys to a young lady that is very admired by me. I can attest that she is a hard worker. She's very smart, and she comes to work every day with a smile on her face and a great attitude. Man, people just love her. Man, they gravitate around her, and every time she's around in the room, you can tell that people are happy to see her. It's a good aura. She has a good nature about her. Let me introduce you guys to Rochelle. Rochelle, can you introduce yourself?
Well, Ryan, thank you for having me. My name is Rochelle Blake, like you said. I've had the privilege to be around him in the industry as well for a few years well now, and I'm happy to be here.
So how did you get in the industry? How did you end up in the industry?
Well, I've started out in this industry coming from an island called Jamaica, where tourism and hospitality is one of the main source of income for the island. We got introduced to this from an early age. Um, Leaving high school, my parents didn't have the money to send me to college. I worked my way, with my parents. At their jobs, they pay me and I take my paycheck. And I went back to a hospitality school. 'Cause that was the way to get me into the working field with experience. Because in my country, it was like you have to have experience, and sometimes who you know. So I went to a hospitality school called Youth Enhancement Service, and that was where, my future in the industry really started. It really shaped me because we covered all grounds from the front desk all the way to housekeeping to the restaurant. We cover all grounds.
All right, all right. And then, are you still continuing your education now?
Yes, I am. Not in the hospitality management per se, but I am continuing my education in, well, just in hospitality in general.
And how, when you are at the education, but you're in a field that that helps you. Does it allow you to seek better education? Does it give you the time frame? And it works with your schedule, correct?
Oh, yes, because with the hospitality field, you have no choice but to want to grow because there's so many different opportunities, so many different departments, so many different aspect of hospitality where a lot of people don't even would consider as hospitality. To be hospitable, it's definitely a skill and an acquired skill, and with the right training and stuff, you would climb the ladder and get to where you want to if you want to grow.
Well, anything you observe about your guests that you serve, in particularly when you serve, how do you approach them when you
Well, Ryan, to be quite honest with you, I like to treat people how I want to be treated. So that's always my approach. Now, sometimes you will meet someone, that is having a bad day, and you go with this bubbly personality, and they're looking at you like something's wrong with her, but you can't take that, as a negative and start treating them bad because you'll never know. Sometimes that extra mile and just that one little thing that you can do to make them feel better, it do counts.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, even when you making a plate of food, if you don't put that accountability of this has to go to a human being I've never seen in my life before, and
Hmm.
it needs to be the same way that they want it, to the T, and that's how we approach it in the kitchen. Is there any one special thing you observed about the industry that you love?
Oh, definitely. For me per se, I can't speak about anyone else. I just love meeting new people from all over the world. And it's very interesting for the fact that for, wherever you're working at that moment, just for the fact that they choose to come into that establishment, it's a blessing for me because they have so many opportunities to go anywhere else. You know how the market is. Everyone try to market, to grab people in. For just for the fact that they choose to come to where I work, now I have my job to make sure make sure the experience, is a memorable one. So, that's how I always try to look at it. Sometimes it's not the easiest, to be quite honest. It's not the easiest, but it's worth a try. It's worth a try.
Always, always. Yeah, like I was saying, I like that too, man. The last place I worked was a steakhouse, and they wanted us to do actual table touches as a chef. So I would go out there, I would ask the people, what they liked about the experience, how they was experiencing the place, and what they like about the food. Is the food? They would give me great reviews every single time. I mean, there's some people that can't help themselves and be like, no, we didn't really like this, or this was too this, or I take it in stride. You take that kind of stuff with a grain of
Of
salt. You know what I'm
course.
saying?
Hmm.
As long as it's 85% positive, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because at least that one person out of six people, or
Right,
that one
right.
person out of 18 people doesn't like their food. That's not okay, but you can live and tolerate that
Right,
situation.
right. But I like the negatives too, because the negatives help us to grow. So with me, being the fourth person at the front, a lot of times, when I do hear a negative feedback, I like to look into it and see, okay, where did we go wrong? Or what can we do to make it better? if I have to talk to my chain of commands or whatever it is, I will do that. I just give suggestions and I'm like, hey, this is what's been said. What can we do about it? Or, because sometimes those feedback can, help us to be, better in the future.
I agree. I agree. If you take that stuff, so if somebody says, my fish is this or my steak is that, and they're paying a lot of money. If you go to a steakhouse, they're especially paying a lot of
Oh,
money.
yes.
The average cost of a steakhouse dinner with drinks is about $145.
Oh, yes.
And in some steakhouses, it's up to $200. So you have to keep everybody in mind, including especially the guests and their pocket. Is there any like funny stories you had, or like anything that stands out to you in particular about the everyday workings? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have
Well,
to be with a guest. It could be with a certain person or just anybody in particular.
I wouldn't say like I don't really have like a funny story, but I've had some pretty interesting
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah, yeah. That's right up the
Yes.
alley right there. We'll go
Yeah,
with that.
just having just certain expectations. Like, yes, you expect me to have the helicopter waiting. Like, just that on, expected expectation they want you to meet. Just an example, but I wouldn't say like a funny story. No.
I had an interesting story once. This is the first time this happened to me in the industry. So I worked in a steakhouse, and there was this guy in there. He had a party for like his 15-year-old nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 30 people, man, and he was just so happy.
Ooh.
He was just so happy. He just gave me 8 bills. I'm like, bro, you just gave me $800, and he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, you know,
Because you make me happy.
yeah. So it was crazy, man. He was like, just split it up with the staff. I say, you sure? Because $800
Yes.
is a lot of money.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Granted, he just paid for 30 people's food straight out of his pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just come up with $800. So I just split it up between all the staff, and everybody was happy, and it was crazy. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Yes,
It's
yes.
happened before where you get like $100, $200.
Right, right. But
But
800.
that's almost a grand, bro. if he got that kind of money, man, I was about to turn into a private chef that day. But yeah, but that have been that was
That's a
crazy.
good one.
That is
Yeah.
a good one,
That's a
man.
good one.
And
Yes. You have
that's
some pretty interesting stories. I wouldn't say funny, but yeah, some good.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go interesting. I mean, some people consider that funny, but interesting is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some serious stuff. Like the industry is something that you love, but it's also something that sometimes you don't really like it. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything you observed in the industry, of course, besides pay, that you could
Mm-hmm.
hope to see a change in the future or an improvement, let's say?
All right. I've observed a lot, but one of the biggest thing that I've observed throughout the years being in the industry, it's just that now people just don't really care, or I don't think they really understand what it is like to really serve or be of service to someone anymore. Back in my time when I started, you take this with pride. It was not about what tip you're going to make, it's about making the customers happy. And so you do your best to do your part. Now I realize that you have people, especially younger generation, coming up. Oh, I'm at work in the restaurant. I'm at work in the bar. I'm working the, whatever it is, um, but they don't get it. They think, okay, it's just for the money, but they're not even putting in the work. They don't take pride in what they're doing. And I can just name a few where, okay, just your environment, that your work environment, keep it, keep it together. Um, if the guests don't like something, don't take it personal. You know, just little stuff like that.
Yeah,
Take pride in how you present yourself. Your work ethic should match, your attitude. Being in the industry. I remember a few years back being in pharmacy. I work at the desk, and I find out my manager keep putting me there, And I keep saying, like, why you keep putting me there? I need to be rotated just like everybody else, so I get the fair opportunity to learn the other aspect of the pharmacy. And you know what she said to me? She said, I put you there because I realize you're really good with customers. When I have you there, I don't get all that negative feedback, and stuff like that. Because when I have the other guys, um, it's not the same. So I said to her, I said, have you ever thought about training them? Because sometimes, they do need guidance and proper training because they just don't know. Where I'm coming from, an era where we were trained how to have phone etiquette, how to have table etiquette. When you're serving food, you serve food from the left, you clear from the right, you serve your beverage from the left. All that stuff is just like it's non-existent in the traditional restaurants. Now, if you go to fine dining, you may find that high quality. Now that they put it says as high quality, but it should be all across the board. So that's what I find interesting.
I
That
agree. I
has changed
agree.
tremendously over the years.
When I went to my culinary school, it was a technical college, but they took it very seriously.
Oh yes.
And they even took us as cooks, and they made us do a mock restaurant. So we served.
Mm-hmm.
We did the tables, the 1, 2, 3, 4. From the
Right.
from the left corner.
Right.
And then we go to the
Right.
right, and then we serve from the left and go to the right. And that took me into a place where I didn't know existed.
Oh yeah.
I was the lucky one. They liked me. They liked my service, so I served the principals and the high
Ooh.
people. So we got that down. We experienced that situation. My thing about what you just said was the way people act. It's the same way in the kitchen, man. You can tell the lack of training.
Oh yes.
You can tell the lack of discipline
And interest.
and interest as well, because they're in their mind they're at a job. And I tell them all the time, it's not a job, Papa. Your job is here, but your career is what you're doing.
Oh yes.
Your job is where you're at. Your career is what you're doing. And I explain that to them all the time, especially the ones that be like, man, Chef, I don't want to be here. I don't feel it. I say, listen, bro, you have to feel like you want to be here every single day. You may not want to come to work,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to do your career
Of course.
every single day.
Of course.
If you don't feel like you need to do that, then you're going to have to move on, man, because this
Exactly.
industry is very unforgiving. And you go some places, and if you don't meet their expectations within the week,
You're
they
out.
they get you out of there.
You're out.
I mean, we're at a place
Exactly.
where we're lucky. They expect and they want us to grow, and they want us to show leadership and have people grow with us, or we push people to grow.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, you have the ones that don't really, get it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? They're
right,
still in
right,
their
right.
young mindset, and it's not bad that they want money. It's just they need to figure out what they want to do to get it.
Yeah, because I think that they fail to understand with a poor work etiquette, their pocket can't grow
Mm-hmm.
because nobody's going to recognize them and want to work with them. Because we have a saying in Jamaica, I'm British Jamaican actually, so we have a saying that we always say, your attitude depicts your altitude. And it just simply just means your attitude will depict how far you get in life. Um, when
You hear that? I hope y'all heard that, man. That was a good quote,
Mhm.
man. This is why I brought in a woman appreciation international day. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a good quote, man, and you should have that everywhere in your car, on your wall. I don't know, when you wake up in the morning, you look at the mirror, that should be like right in front of your mirror. Your attitude that takes your altitude, man. It's a good saying. You did mention the pharmacy.
Yes.
Are you currently working there?
No, not anymore.
Okay. But at one point you did have multiple
Multiple.
employment.
I still
Right.
do have multiple employments.
So yes, I
I
know.
just trade that out for
Trust
something
me,
else.
that's part of the industry as well, man. As long as
Yes.
you not management, I feel like you're not management. Because when I was a cook, I'm not gonna lie to you. At one point, I had 3 jobs. I was working in a nursing home. I was doing my regular gig at my current employment, and also I was Ubering. So
Yes.
in my days off, like I had one day off, which was Wednesday, which I strictly took for my day off. But if it wasn't Wednesday, I wasn't home. if I would work only one job a day, I would replace the other shift with Uber,
Wow.
and then I would be out my house from, let's say, 5:30 to about 2 o'clock in the morning for like 4 or 5 days straight.
Oh yes.
And then that's why we try to pinpoint on this podcast, man,
Yes.
because
It's not for the weak.
it's not for the weak, man. A lot of people have two jobs. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yes.
saying? Like, we have a lot of cooks, especially cooks.
Yes.
You know, they come from one cooking job where they've been there all morning from 6 to 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then they muster themselves up. And by the time they hit the door, they got to take a deep breath, and they're like, bro, I got to go
Transition
another
to the
8 hours.
next.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's
It's
hard.
not easy.
It's not easy at all.
For me, I especially for the hotel industry in general, it's seasonal. So definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, especially if you're responsible and you want to grow, you want to achieve stuff, that won't do it. Because when season is out, then you're on your nose, you're on your face.
Yeah.
So you have to have something on the back burner to help you stay afloat. Now, the burnout comes when season picks up and you have to juggle both,
Yeah,
and it's a mental strength where you have to dig deep and say, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this. You have your bills, you have kids, you have all these responsibilities, and you have to just do what you got to do and suck it up.
Yeah, it's a hard industry, man. The kid part is crazy. Like,
Oh,
you,
yes.
the family time, you have to make time for family,
Mhm.
and it's like you can't negotiate it.
Definitely
You
not.
know, because a lot of people don't know, man. We miss a lot of holidays.
Oh, yes.
And
Being in the hotel industry.
Yeah, we miss
yes.
a lot of holidays.
Hospitality
So
in general.
yeah,
Because
it's
all areas, you have to show up.
Yeah.
Even at the pharmacy, when I used to work at the pharmacy, we have to work holidays.
Exactly.
We have to work holidays.
yeah, because like you're working holiday and you tell your family you're working, and they're like, why you keep working on these holidays?
Exactly.
I'm like, listen, I have to provide the same experience that we supposed to be getting for other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then your New Year's Eve,
Right.
Christmas, even pseudo holidays like Valentine's Day,
Valentine's, yes.
and sometimes even like Halloween. You're stuck at work and you have
And you
to.
want to spend time with your kids.
Yeah, you do.
So like you said, I had to do the same thing in order to have some form of structure. I have to meet up with my manager and say, hey, can we work something out? And we came up, with something that was able to, work for me and them as well without jeopardizing, the job and all that stuff. So we have to.
Yeah.
Because when you have kids as well, they grow and they keep look at it, time pass, and you miss out on all that opportunity to spend with your children as well. So you have to try to find that balance, and we're fortunate when we find a place that is willing to work with you as well to that extent, because not everywhere is like that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
luckily for me, both of my jobs was Wednesday. Wednesday is great because people don't, a lot of people don't know this.
I have
but
Wednesday too, so
Wednesday
I know.
is great because awards are given out on Wednesday.
I did not know that.
Yes, like a lot of elementary schools and a lot of like middle schools, their awards are always on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, if I can get Wednesday off, I could be there every single Wednesday for when they have,
The
their awards.
and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm like, and plenty of awards, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
awesome.
And then when I get there, I don't care. I yell, I scream, because,
Yes.
it's the only time I get to see them. So everybody's all quiet and gingerly and clapping on like this. No, I'm in the background like I'm at a
football game.
basketball game. But you know what I find, though? That positive energy, once that surges through the room, by the time you get to the fourth or the fifth kid, because I do it for everybody. I don't want to single my kid out.
Right.
So I just start clapping for every single kid.
Yeah, and the kids do
Right,
feel
and
motivated.
They do feel motivated. They
Yes.
love that. And then the families, bro.
Yes.
And the families. Now, every time they mention the kid's name, it's like a high school auditorium. And
Right.
everybody just clapping. So, yeah, so that part is a very,
It's very important.
it is very important, man, to get that little time off and thing to show your peoples, how you can interact with them through
And
holidays
also help
and
with the
stuff like
mental
that.
space too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your mental space
Yes,
too, because
yes.
now you're not in a thing where like, man, I just missed this situation. What
Right,
happens?
right.
What happens if it never happens again? You just You gotta
don't
move on from there. You
like
know?
you're working, work, and not having that
Yeah.
lenient space to breathe
Yeah, man.
and
You
be
know.
regular, be mommy, be daddy, that's good.
Well, what a first episode would happen, man. This is 86 Heard podcast. I'm your main host, Ryan, man. This is thing. Do you have a special food or a favorite food? What we at? What we at? All right. Well, yeah. Do you have a favorite food?
Oh,
Lastly,
definitely.
let's hear about this food, and let's see where we're at with
You're
that
not from Jamaica, so definitely I have to go back to my roots. Yeah, definitely some good old ackee and saltfish,
Mm-hmm.
fried dumpling, or you get a Johnny cake. It's really good. It's always something I always go back to when I go back home. Like, come on, get me some good ackee and saltfish. My Johnny cake or my fried dumpling. Yeah, and good old chocolate tea with it.
Oh my gosh. A little
Fresh chocolate, that
yeah,
is.
I know what you're
We
talking
grate that
about.
chocolate with the. Oh yes.
Yeah, my mother used to bring that stuff home too. So my parents are from Dominica, Commonwealth. So we eat a lot of fish.
A lot of fish.
A lot.
Fresh.
It's a fishing island.
Island.
So you don't eat as much. Like everybody with this chicken. No, we eat fish. Well, I used to eat fish maybe 4 times a week.
Ooh,
Like dinner,
that's a lot.
4 times a week.
And we do chicken.
Yeah, see, we do fish 4 times a week, man, and that's pretty much my favorite food. I mean, yeah, I got favorite junk food or whatever,
Yes.
cookies and
In
and
England,
stuff
I
like
love
that.
the good
but,
old fish and chips with that good old tartar sauce. If it's done right, then
yeah,
yes.
I'm a bone-in type of person.
Me too,
So I gotta
bone-in.
have my fish, man. I gotta
The
have
fish
that
head.
roasted. Yeah, I got it roasted. You can't have the fish head with my mother around. She'll just snatch that shit up anyway.
Good.
She'll just snatch it up. So yeah, this has been a good podcast. This is our first episode. We really, really appreciate you coming on with us, man. It's been fun. We hope to have you back in a good time
Definitely.
frame,
Mhm.
and we can catch back up, man. We'll see how it went. Let's see
Thank
how
you.
this goes. Yeah, this is 86 Heard Podcast. I'm here at Rochelle. I'm your main voice, Ryan. And this is 111 Studios, man. Y'all have a nice day. Peace and blessings, you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.